Well, hi, everybody. Greg Martin here with the NAUI Dive Team Report. I have something kind of fun for you today. We got a couple of guys that are going to join us here in just a moment to talk about a new book that's coming out. I happen to live out in the Pacific Northwest area and do most of my diving in the Pacific Northwest. And it's always exciting when I get new students down and they're always asking me about what they saw. And I have to be honest, there's a lot of times when I haven't a clue what they saw. It was a green fish. I don't know. It was a silverfish. I don't know. There's a new book that's coming out that's talking about some of the critters and the diving of the Pacific Northwest. We have Tom Hemphill and Floyd Holcom on the phone with us, who are the ones who put this book together. Gentlemen, what's the name of the book? Floyd, what's the name of the book?
Well, it's Diving the Oregon Coast. You know, I'm glad Tom's on the phone because he definitely has worked on this book a lot harder than I have the last 6 to 8 months. But I'm really glad he's on the phone because we have a hard chance of talking to each other. So appreciate you putting us together.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, tell me a little bit about the book. What can folks expect?
Well, actually, the focus on this is diving the Oregon coast, and the publisher, Arcadia Publishing, specializes in historical books, and this is diving the Oregon coast, and they promised that if this goes over well, we will be able to do one on maybe Puget Sound and the rest of the Northwest and that. There's 6 chapters in the book. The attraction to the Oregon coast is the first chapter, and that's a lot of underwater photographs of some beautiful fish that people wouldn't ever imagine they would see that much color in the Northwest. The second chapter is about diving pioneers, featuring some of the people who started the diving in the Oregon area in the 50s and 60s and 70s. The third chapter is the development of diving education and equipment for cold water diving. Chapter 4 is dive clubs and their role in promoting diving. Chapter 5 is retail stores, and we focus primarily on the retail stores that up and down the coast that are located where they service people that are divers that are going to be diving the Oregon coast. And then the last chapter is popular dive sites along the Oregon coast.
So it's a special area to dive. Anybody who's been up in the Pacific Northwest, are you laughing about that, Floyd? Is that what you're?
Yeah, well, you know, we have the only real dive store on the Oregon coast right now, which it's been challenging because we get people from all over the world that come down. And I was just telling a friend today, they said, hey, we want to jump on your dive boat and go look at all those 1,000 wrecks you have at the mouth of Columbia. You know, I look at them and say, no, we don't have a dive boat. And if you haven't planned your dive a year ahead of time, it's very rare that you're even going to see one of the wrecks because it's so challenging. But the best part about it, we've got some excellent dive sites that are off the shore. And one of the things that Tom and I was able to do was to expose that again because so many people who have dove the Oregon coast in the past years have either retired or moved on. And so there's some really best kept secrets that we were able to extract and put into the book. So hopefully that will generate some additional interest to dive these morsel sites.
Tom, you've been diving in this area for a long time. What's the special attraction to this cold water diving thing that we do?
Well, surprisingly, it's the marine life. When you think about going down on a rocky reef and looking around, you think you're going to see rocks, but you can't see the rocks because it's all overgrown with all types of marine life, sponge. We have corals, some of the most beautifully colored fish you can imagine. And the Oregon coast, because of the ecosystem there, you get some blue water that comes in late in the summer up until the first storms of October or maybe even into November. And contrary to the rest of Northwest cold water diving, I've seen well over 100 to 150-foot visibility off the Oregon coast in late August and into September. And it's blue water. The Japanese current brings in blue water, so it's not the emerald sea that you see in Puget Sound a lot. But the main thing that is here is just a super abundance of marine life. And a lot of it's edible, and that's nice.
Floyd, you've been diving in this area for a long time as well, especially with having really the only dive shop in that locale. Special challenges? Talk about the challenges of diving this type of thing.
Well, yeah, you're right. And diving really in Oregon started in Astoria, I mean, back to the 1800s. So, they were, cutting line and fixing sailing ships, but nobody really started doing it and enjoying it for recreation, as like Tom said here, until, 1960s and beyond. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there are some great special dive sites that we've annotated in the book, special considerations of, shore diving, making sure that you understand tides and currents, special places to go where, certain flora and fauna are coming out at certain times. I mean, the monkey face eel in Netards is kind of an incredible creature that you only can see it when it gets close to October, and sometimes in January or February if you can handle the tides and storms. So it really is a challenge to be able to time your dives and look for them. But once you do, I mean, there really isn't any other place in the world that dives like it.
So, Tom, kind of wrap us up here. The book. When do we expect the book? Where can we get it? That kind of thing.
The publisher tells us that it's going to be ready October 10th. It'll be introduced October 10th. It'll be on Amazon. It's actually available on Amazon.com right now for pre-orders, and some people have, in fact, pre-ordered. It'll be available in all the normal locations where you get a book, and then our Northwest Diving History Association, that will be another item that we will have on that website for sale, so people can buy it directly from the Northwest Diving History Association, which we'd like to see them do because that's going to generate a little bit of income for the association.
I knew you'd get a commercial message in there for that, Tom.
I had to do it. I just had to.
And Tom, don't forget that we'll probably have it with us at DEMA as well as the Historical Dive Society's annual conference in Seattle this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate it. I can't wait to check it out, to see all the places that I've stuck my toes in, and maybe we'll get some more people out of that warm water down there and get them up here to some cold Northwest diving.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Tom, thanks so much for your time, too.
You bet. Thank you.
I will be talking to you next week. We'll have some more great fun. Until then, Greg Martin saying, I'll see you underwater.